I was interviewed this morning by the San Francisco Chronicle for them to decide who they're going to endorse. Since I will not be absolutely shocked if they don't endorse me, and since they wouldn't let me record my own interview and broadcast it, here is a repeat of what I had to say. I had 3 minutes in the beginning, and my position is this. Oakland is not in its own bubble. As opposed to all other candidates, I believe we must see the elections for Oakland mayor and other city elections in the context of what is happening nationally and, in fact, internationally. You have 2 freight trains that are basically roaring down the track towards us. The first is the threat of the racist, fascist-linked Republican Party taking complete power at the federal level. They've already taken over the Supreme Court. They're likely to take over Congress this year, and by hook or by crook, they may very well take over the presidency in 2024. And that will be a disaster for working class people in Oakland. The second freight train is the continued acceleration of global warming. One example of how it will directly impact Oakland, completely aside from rising food prices, is that as a result of that rise in sea level, will push a lot of the toxins that are buried in the soil in West Oakland, will push them to the surface, which will disastrously affect the health of the residents of West Oakland. So we have to see all the problems in Oakland in this context, whether we're talking about homelessness, crime, poverty, health. None of them are local issues alone. And any thought of resolving or even making partial steps towards resolving these issues in isolation from these national trends is an illusion. Among other things, I call for a $28 an hour minimum wage and a crash program to build public housing. All the other candidates are attempting to lead people away from this approach. One candidate is a racist, an anti-Semite, and an actual fascist, and he actually agrees with the Republican fascist-linked program. That's Peter Liu. Others agree with the repressive policies of the Republican Party and agree with trickle-down economic policies, which policies just proved to be a complete disaster in Britain. Foremost amongst them is Ignacio de la Fuente, but he's not alone. Others are in the grip of corporate Oakland and first and foremost of the real estate developers. And we can see that in the fact that every single one of them supports the job-killing, gentrifying, privatizing, budget-busting Howard Terminal project. We need a mayor who represents Oakland's working class and poor people. Such a mayor will organize in the high schools and community colleges and the workplaces and on the street corners to help Oakland working class and poor people organize and lead the way to build a movement to reverse course in America, a movement that develops into a mass working class party with socialist policies. History shows that all real change starts from the bottom up, from the civil rights movement to the labor movement in the 1930s, to the Black Lives Matter movement of just a few years ago that did lead to a few reforms. I am not the vote for me and I'll set you free candidate. I am the working class socialist candidate for Oakland mayor.